What if I told you I built this using Tableau AI? Yes, I leveraged the new capabilities of Tableau AI. I used Tableau Agent to inspire me to build this dashboard, give me the ideas, gave me a jump start. Watch this video with me as I explain and I discover what it's like to use Tableau Agent and Tableau Pulse and leverage the AI capabilities to build a better dashboard. So what's all this talk about Tableau AI? In Q4 2024, Tableau released Tableau Agent. I wanted to explore this a little bit more, look into Tableau Cloud, see what it has to offer, what's Tableau Agent, what's Tableau Pulse. And so I created this data visualization inspired by Tableau AI. So let's kind of go through this together and walk through what inspired me to create this and how Tableau Agent and the AI functionality helped. So what I used, hockey being my favorite sport, I wanted to use something that I can have fun developing. And so I created this visualization. This is the final product, the end result. And this was inspired using Tableau Agent, or started off by using Tableau Agent. What this shows you is the valuations of each NHL hockey team from 1 to 32 and their trends over the last 10 years. Some scatter plots at the bottom to show you, kind of their operational performance and fan engagement, comparing certain metrics against each other to see the leaders in those categories. And then breakdown by different segments, sport, market, stadium, and brand, and what % of those contribute to the value. What you'll also see is when you hover over or you click on a team, so I'll click on the Canadiens, being my favorite team, and you can see their owner, when the team was purchased, how many championships they have, and their individual trend, hovering over each year to see the value, the forecast for 2025, and the year-over-year change. Okay, so where did this inspiration come from? How did it come up with this idea? Forbes comes out with these rankings every year, and at the end of each year they publish this article, and so you have the rankings and some information. So you can scroll, here's number 1, and you can scroll through all 32 teams, right? So here, on number 3, if you stop at Montreal, it shows you their valuation, some information about the team, key metrics, a little write-up, and some visuals. You have a pie chart, which we can agree isn't always the greatest chart to show, and basic bar charts here to show the trends over time for their metrics. Okay, so I think this is good information. I just wanted something to be consolidated into one place and to show teams against each other and compare them instead of being all separate, other than the fact that they're ranking it based on the total value. And so this is what I want to use, or what I wanted to use, to create my own Tableau dashboard and then leverage Tableau Agent to see how that can help me. The first thing I had to do was put this data together. This was not available for download. So I went through and actually put together an Excel spreadsheet with the 10 years worth of data for each team here. So this will be my data set. Right, so I'm in Tableau Cloud, and this is where we're going to leverage Tableau Agent and Tableau Pulse. So we're going to start off by creating a new workbook in here. And we're going to connect to that Excel file that I created. Okay, so first things first, I always like to just look at my data to make sure everything looks good here. I just want to change this data type to a date for the year. And everything else looks good to me, and I've already kind of gone through this on the Excel spreadsheet, so I'm good with what we have. So how do we initiate this Tableau agent? on this top right, you're going to see this Einstein icon. Okay. And this is what you use to initiate Tableau Agent. We're going to click here and it's going to kind of come up with this disclaimer. Kind of read through this, hit got it. And a few ways we can go about this. Now, this is where you can ask or prompt Tableau Agent. So you can initiate the prompt by asking it questions or asking it to do things or clicking on the suggestions. So I'm going to first start off with asking or prompting it because I know that with the data I have is team values, and I want some type of display to show the rankings from 1 to 32, okay, of all the teams. So I'm going to start off there, and I will ask Tableau Agent, okay, give me a ranking of teams by value. Okay, pretty open-ended. Let's see what it does for me. Like what does Tableau Agent create? So it's working to create something for me here. And it created a bar chart in descending order by team from using value. So, I think this is great because if you're a new user, you don't know how to get started, you just have to ask. If you're somebody who's not familiar with Tableau, you ask and it'll create it for you, right? So this is a great start. So now let's suppose I wanted to modify this and I wanted to add the actual labels. Okay, I want to show the value in the labels. Will Agent do that for me? Show me the values in the label. Or I'll even make it simpler, right? Suppose you don't know what labels are. What if I said show me the values on the there you go. So it understood that language. So you don't have to necessarily speak the language of Tableau in order for it to understand it. It kind of translated that and knew that it had to show that value in the label. And that's what it did here. It created that label value for you. So this is great. I think this is a great start. But this is also something that I knew I'd want to show. Oh, what if I wanted to change the direction? I suppose like this is showing this has the team in the rows. If I want to put it in the columns and have it go the other way around. Okay. Swap the columns and rows. Okay, this looked like it does take a few moments for it to work, but it does get you what you need. Okay, so this is great. What else? So now, when I want to start over with Tableau Agent, what I have to do is initiate or create a new worksheet. Okay, so let me just relabel this one so I know what this is. I'll call this Team Value Ranking. And now I'll create a new worksheet. I also know that I want to have some type of trend over time. Okay, so I'm going to ask it to give me a trend of value over time by year. Okay, so I have it working for me. Let's see what it produces. Okay, so it created that line chart. Right, you see here, and you hover over the tooltips, and it gives you the values. Again, here I want to show the values. Great. Now, what if I wanted to just show the maximum value in the label? Will it do that for me? Okay, so let's see, show me the maximum label value only. Here's what it did. It didn't change the labels. It interpreted it as the actual value. It used to be a sum of value. Okay. It changed the value to a max. Okay. So I think there does have to be some finagling here with the wording or whatnot to get what you need, or maybe the ability to customize the label is not something that agent can do and you'd have to do it yourself. Okay. So that's fine. That's what it is. Let's see if it has forecasting options. Show me a forecast for the year 2025. Okay, so it does say that forecasting is not supported here. Okay, so that's fine. And what I'm actually thinking is I'm using this Tableau Agent and Cloud as a great starting point. I'll download the workbook and then modify it as I see fit. Okay. But so far, it's giving me a great starting point here. And I'll relabel this to trend, value trend. Okay, now let's create a new worksheet. Now I don't know what else to show. Let's suppose I'm stuck. I've hit a roadblock. I don't have any ideas on what to do. Let's now try to see what suggestions Tableau Agent has for us. So I'm going to create on the suggestions. Okay. And here are the suggestions. Which team has the highest operating income and how does it compare to their player expenses? What is the relationship between population and gate receipts? And how does revenue per fan correlate with the team's values? Okay. So let's try this relationship. Okay. I'd like to see the relationships. Oh, there, look at that. It created the scatter plot, X and Y axis, and it also assigned the team different colors, right? And so this will really show this basically is saying saying like if you have a higher population, does that mean you have higher ticket revenue in the gates? Okay, so that is what this is showing, and I think this is a good one that I can use potentially. Okay, so I'll leave this as is. Now, if I wanted to keep this, but also continue with suggestions, what I can do is I can create a copy of this and duplicate. Okay, and so this sheet 3 will still remain as is, but on sheet 2, I will continue with the suggestions. Okay. How does revenue per fan correlate with team values? So here's another scatter plot. Okay, revenue and value. So and so let me add. So here again, there's only one data point. So I will prompt it to add the teams to the chart. All right, added the teams to the chart. But let's suppose I just wanted to swap so value with revenue. Okay, so swap value for revenue. Let's see if it does that and it modifies that for me. Yeah, here you go. What if I want to swap the X and Y axis? Does it understand what that is and how to do that. There you go. So here's the thing. Up to this point, I have not done any work in terms of development. I've just prompted Tableau Agent, and it kind of it's done that work for me. So far, it's done the work. It's given me what I wanted, and it also has given me suggestions on new visuals or new charts. Let's do one more. Okay, what else does it suggest for me? Okay, can you identify a trend between operating income and gate receipts over time, over the years? Let's see what that is. Okay, so here's the thing. My data set does not have gate receipts over all the years. Okay, so it's not the best metric to show here. Okay, so I want to change this to something else. Let's suppose instead of gate receipts, I want to compare operating income and revenue. Okay, so I'm going to say swap gate receipts for revenue. And this is really just an issue with my own data modeling and data availability, and nothing to do with Tableau Agent here. But here, so this is what it actually created the dual axis for me. I don't even if I don't know what a dual axis is or how to create one, it plotted both of these over time, both of these measures over time, and created that dual axis for me. Okay, so I have a scatter plot. I have a dual axis. I have bar charts. I have all of these without even having to develop or create it myself, knowing how to do it. And it's giving me suggestions on what to do and how to create them. Right, let's see if we can create calculated fields now using Tableau Agent. So I'm going to create a new sheet and create calculations on percent of. Okay, so the value has 4 categories. There are fields here for brand, for market, for sport, and stadium. Add those together and those equal the value. If we want to see the percent of brand of the value, how would I create that calculation? I would say create a calculation to show brand over value. Working. There you go, brand over value, and it created the label for the calculation for me. Well, if I say do the same for market, will it understand that I want that same calculation and create that for me? Yes, it does. And it also modifies that label. And let's do the same for sport. So it's saying the sport is not a numeric field. It is actually. And that's why I couldn't do it. So maybe I have to prompt it a little bit differently. Okay. Create a calculation to show sport over. I think, no, I did not like that. Create a calculation for sport divided by value. There you go. And it actually created the same title for me, sport over value ratio, similar to the other ones. So, you had to kind of ask it a little bit differently. So, sometimes it's a little funny. And then the last one here is stadium. Do the same for stadium. There you go. You see here the calculation is a little different. Right? It added the if null, all right, which is a good thing to put in actually. And But I notice it's not consistent, even though I said to do the same thing. So maybe the model needs to learn what you like best, and then maybe it knows your preferences, and maybe over time, as you start using it more, it'll become more and more adept and understand you a little bit more. Kind of develop that relationship with the Tableau agent. But I do see, not every prompt acts the same way, and maybe when you ask it, or how you ask it does matter. Yeah. That aside, I think what it is able to provide for you is great. It allows you to create charts that you want, provide recommendations on new charts, create calculated fields for you. Now I'm at a place where I actually have ideas and I know what I need to do next. And it gives me a great starting point without me even having to really develop anything yet. I have a template and I have calculations. I have charts that I can work with. So next, what I'd like to do is, just save this, publish it, download it, and on Tableau Desktop, and complete my development there. So you might ask now, why am I completing this on Tableau Desktop? Tableau Desktop still has a little bit more functionality, especially when it comes to editing and image work, forecasting. And so I really wanted to complete it here on desktop. That's kind of what I'm used to, what I'm familiar with. And but Tableau Agent on the cloud was something that really got me well underway to give me ideas and create or do the manual work for me that I would have done myself, and really inspired me to give me this blueprint for this finalized dashboard. Now that I have the dashboard completed, I want to start exploring Tableau Pulse. So Tableau Pulse is that tool for key decision makers, for business users who want to identify key metrics, monitor them, and make decisions with them. And we'll look at that and explore how we can do that with our data set here. Before we do that, what I did was I published the data set here to the cloud as a published data source. And I wanted to show another AI feature that is also available here. So this doesn't look any different than any other data source on premises or anywhere else. But what this does have, when you click on the edit description for the data source, I created a short description. Oftentimes you have roadblocks and you want to create maybe more explanation on what the dashboard is or what the data source is. What Einstein can do here is this draft with the Einstein button. When you click on this, it will actually create a description for you. And what you notice here, and this is pretty good, because not only does it explain what this data set is, it also talks about some of the key features that I developed. What I have in here, the metrics, and what it's used for. It can really assist with a lot of people who may have roadblocks when it comes to documentation, particularly with their data source and dashboard. So I'm going to save this and I'm going to start working in Tableau Pulse. So I'm going to go to Pulse, and this is where you need to connect to that data source, right? So I don't have any metrics here. I'm not following any metrics currently. So what you have to do here is create a new metric definition. So we're going to connect to our data set. I'm going to search for it here. NHL Valuations Connect. Okay, so now this is where you define the metrics that you want to follow. What are the most important metrics? This is like your dashboard. You open it up every day or whatever cadence you need to see it for, and you can see the trends. So I'm going to go here to the measure, and I'm going to select value. That is ultimately my most important metric here, and I'll call it NHL valuation, give it a name, NHL description, NHL team values. Okay. You could also grant permissions here. I'm not going to change anything right now. We're going to do a sum of the value with a running total, or you could do non-cumulative. So we want a running total because you want to see the trends. Now, what dimension do you want to do it by? We have it by year, okay? So you have to remember here, because you have it by year, you don't have it by day. So I have to change some of the settings here. You could add offsets here if you want to exclude certain most recent periods, but I'm going to change the granularity to year because that is the level of detail that I have in my data set. Compare it to the prior period, which is the prior year. Adjustable metric filters, I'm going to look at it by team, right? My 32 teams. Okay, and what format is this in? This is a currency, so it's going to change. And you see here that it shows you the trends and the overall valuations. Now, I have to go to the insights and finish this up here. What you need to put here is the record identifier. We're going to do it again by team. So that's what I will include. Everything else here is optional. So I'm going to start here, save my definition. And now, what does it give me? So it's showing me overall 61.5 billion, which is up 44.8% from the previous year. So that it shows you that. It shows you the trend. You can hover over to see the values. And it also tells you which year you started to see the trend steepen in 2022 here. Okay, I'm going to go to the breakdown, and here is where it gives you the top teams ranked, and then the remainder and their average. Okay, so it kind of summarizes that for you at the top. Now, there are some insights that you can uncover here, and you can ask it questions, or you can go with the predetermined questions here. So which team increased the most? Click here. It gives you an explanation. Which team? It gives you the top 3 teams, and then also tells you that the value, how much it increased out of the 32 teams, and what those 3 teams are. Okay, so it provides some explanation. If you find this helpful, you can click that. If not, you can click on not helpful. What else can you get here? Which team had low NHL valuation? So this shows the opposite, the bottom. Okay, and what percentage that represents to the contribution of the total, right? So the bottom is less than 1% each. Here, which team had high NHL valuations? Okay, so it shows you the high teams again. Okay, actually, this shows you the high teams for the current year. Whereas that first one showed you the increase, the value increase, which teams increased the most. Okay. Now, if there are questions here that you don't have answered, or maybe you want to ask, you can click here and you can ask questions as well. I'm not going to ask any questions. I don't think there's anything else I can ask here. Just my data maybe perhaps needs more context, maybe more data points. But I think based on what I have, this is good, and gives me a good overview and stands. And if I'm a business user and I want to see where I'm standing, now this doesn't have to be by year. It could be by day, by month, whatever cadence you would like. If I want to follow this metric, I can click on follow, and I'll go back here to the main page. And when you open this up, I will see at whichever cadence I choose the trends, and I can get insights on those metrics. So I think this is great. A great tool. Utilizes artificial intelligence and gives you quick synopsis and explanations as well, and with the ability to ask questions and get answers as well. Hope you enjoyed exploring Tableau Agent and Pulse and how I built this inspired by Tableau AI. Please make sure to like and subscribe to follow me for more content. Until next time.